Oh, it's a beautiful evening in my part of the world. Good to see everybody. If you're catching this on the replay, just stick around for a little bit. We'll get started. Right now, we'll just kind of take it easy for a couple minutes and allow everybody to get a chance to get in here. Man, a lot going on in the world, as you guys all know. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it indifferent. You know. Some of it's funny, I guess, depending on your point of view. I don't know what that is. Let's go with this one. I am your master, Lord and Master of the universe. Chef Lawson's in the house. Hey, I'm back and I'm good on YouTube. Nice. Good to have you back. I'm glad you're back. Hope you're feeling better. Meme is back in the house. House is in the house. How are you? How are you both? Glad you're back, Meme. Glad you're feeling better. I'm sorry, Jeff Lawson, I'm feeling better. You're a slave here. Welcome, Master Slave. That's right. I'm the Lord and Master of the universe. The universe is my dominion. No, man. It's Monday here. It's a beautiful day. It's about whatever time it is. It's about whatever temperature it is. Light breeze, a lot of rain over the last couple of days. If you guys even care about my weather, which I don't think you do. Nobody cares about me. You know, nobody cares about my weather. But that's all right. I'm accepting of it. Don't forget the thumbs up, you gentlemen in the background. You doing good? All right. That's good. Good to hear it. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, my God. Man, I just lost my voice there. I look old today. I feel like I look old. Doing good. And Monday, don't care about you. That's right. Nobody cares about us. Nobody cares. No. Why bitch and complain? Because nobody cares. Yeah, we had rain this morning, last night, most of the day on Sunday morning, and Saturday night. We had a lot, Saturday too, and all day Saturday. We had a lot of rain. Thunder, lightning, all that stuff, but we probably had about 5 inches of rain. There you go, buddy. Poor old guy wishing for a beach house. Hey, at this point, I'm just a fat old poor guy who's, wishing for a teepee in the desert. But yeah, that's right. I'm still dreaming of that beach house, even though it's technically not a beach house. But yes, my friend, I am still dreaming of it. So what's going on in everybody's world? We got like 25,000 people watching in the background, but none of them are brave enough to jump forward and make a comment. None of them are brave enough to come forward and give a thumbs up. Maybe they're jealous of my good looks. I don't know. Dream on. That's an Aerosmith song, right? Dream on. So, well, sometimes boys and girls, all we have is dreams. If we don't have dreams, then I don't think we have anything, to be honest. Your dreams ended last night? Or did all your dreams come true, or did you just wake up? I had some weird dreams last night. I've been having some weird dreams. Ever since my dog, Daisy, died, about 6 months ago, I've been having a lot of dreams, which is kind of weird, I know, but, you guys haven't even given any thumbs up yet. I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt. You guys are going to hurt my feelings. I had to shave my beard down because I took my wife out to dinner on Saturday night. I had to take her out to dinner. And we went and ate food for our wedding anniversary. I woke up in fall. Yeah, fall starts in America pretty soon, I think. I don't know when, but it does. Daylight savings time in America is not until November, I think. Which is good because I hope to get some fishing in before winter sets in. I got to get some work done on my old beat up fishing truck before the winter comes in. Sophia, good to see ya. How are you? Everybody said hello to Sophia. Sophia, it's nice to have you in the house. Hola to you. Hello, hello. From the great country of America. A lot going on. Today we're on the same timeline. Finally, Europe, Germany has gotten with the program and become like America. Finally. What did you think of the Donald Trump visit to England? Did you pay any attention to that? They had Charlie Kirk's memorial service over the weekend. That's a big deal here in America. There's also a lot of big deals, big issues right now in America with Shiite Muslim law. We're having problems with that. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Shiite law. So that's a big drama going on in America right now today. But Charlie Kirk had his memorial service. Donald Trump came back from England the other day. Korean Soul says, hello, I am from Ohio. Well, oh hi to Ohio. How are you, Korean Soul? Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. Don't be shy now. Give us a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to me, please. If you have a YouTube channel, let me know. Tell us a little bit about it. And say hello to each other. The best way to grow your channel is to say hello to all the other channels. So, Koreans, oh, how do you enjoy Ohio? I love Korean, by the way. I don't know if you're really Korean or not, but I have a lot of Korean friends growing up. So I know a lot about the Korean culture. So good to have you here. M&G Hydraulic Technologies. I don't know. I don't think they did. I don't think any Democrats at all attended the service. I do know they had like 90 of them get down on was it the Senate or the House floor and refuse to vote to condemn violence. So you had a whole bunch of Democrats who would not vote to condemn violence. I don't know, so I doubt it. Nice to meet you too. But I doubt they did. Here's one thing I do think is interesting from the whole Charlie Kirk memorial thing. I think, I really, now, I don't know if anybody's talking about this on the internet, but I think the whole beef between Elon Musk and Donald Trump was a lie. I think it was a fabrication to give him a way of saving his businesses, so to speak. I think they pretended to fight so that he could get out of there and go tend to his business and people would quit firebombing his dealerships. Because what you saw at the service definitely told you that there was no animosity between them. So I think that was one of those, distraction attractions. So I think that's what I gleaned from watching Donald and Elon together. I don't think there was ever a fight between the two of them. I think they worked out a strategy so that Elon looked better. He scored bonus points with all the crazy people that were burning down his facilities. That is what I think happened. Nice to meet you too, Korean soul food. So I don't know, man. But so what's going on in all of y'all's parts of the world? What's on the top of your brains? You have concerns? Is anything, you got any advice for me? You want me to give you advice? I love giving advice. I do. I do it a lot. You're Korean and Irish. Wow. Ohio is pretty cool. I was born in South Korea, nice, in 73. So you and I are close in age. Bought to the U.S. as an infant. Gotcha. I got some friends that were in the same boat. Yep, military dads. Yep. My best friend growing up was in the exact same boat. Yes, exact same thing. Know it very well. I know your situation very, 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 very well. And of course, we're in America, so my Korean friends that I grew up with were Korean and American. You know, their dads were all American citizens. But I guess you could say, I don't know what they probably more Korean German, not the Irish, you know. But so I'm very familiar with the Korean culture. I really am. I'm not an expert in it, but I definitely grew up around the hard headedness of Koreans. Please repeat your last answer for me again. I had some connections issue. I didn't understand fully. Deadly Lemon, don't eat me. All right, we won't eat you. Are you talking about Elon Musk and Donald Trump? All right. So, Meme, here's what I think. I think way back when there's a big blow up politically about Donald Trump and Elon Musk, I think that was fake. I think what they did is they orchestrated a way for Elon Musk to look good in front of all the crazy Democratic people that were burning down his dealerships. So they gave him a way of now politically, propaganda wise, looking better than Trump. According to the crazy people that were burning down his dealerships, you could tell at the event for Charlie Kirk, there was no animosity. Donald Trump, I mean, that friendly pat on the knee said everything. There was no big deal way back in the back a few months ago when he left to take care of his businesses. There was no drama there. I did feel so alone. And yes, I have some German as well. I didn't mention it. That's all right. That's all right. Well, here in America, you know, you can be from any. German, Italy, Italian. My heritage goes back to the German side, but Spanish. We have everybody here, as you know, because I know you've been here a long time. So you like Ohio? Wow. I gotta admit, I don't like anything north of Arkansas. I hate cold weather. I don't like winter months. I don't like winter states. I hate everything that has anything to do with cold weather. So we've been to Korea a couple of times, but only to itch on the airport. Politics is only fake. No reason to talk about this Freemason stuff. I am not a gatekeeper. I have a friend that is a 60-year Freemason, believe it or not. I talked to him yesterday. He was at my house yesterday. A friend of mine is a 60-year, going on his 61st year as a Freemason. So, but that was my point about the Charlie Kirk thing. I think it was a very nice service, but I definitely think a very good friend. Very good friend. Absolutely. 60 years. He's been a Freemason for 60 years. I haven't even been alive that long. So that tells you how old he is, right? But, you know. So, Korean Soul, what do you guys do up in Ohio? You just hang out? Yeah, we've lived in the Philippines. There's a lot to like about the Philippines, and there's a lot not to like about the Philippines. And I do a lot of counseling, give a lot of opinions, and talk to a lot of people that want to move to the Philippines about that and other countries. I talk to a lot of expats around the world, and I caution people when they want to move to a foreign country. They really need to think long and hard about why they want to move and what they're willing to do without. Because no matter what, you're going to suffer in one way and maybe gain in another way. I have some mafia friends too. Yeah, I don't have anybody that are friends in the mafia anymore. They've all passed away. They, here in America, the few I knew, God, he's probably been dead 20 years now, I guess the 20 years. If you're an introvert, you really go outside. I love outside, as you can see. The funny thing is I actually am truly an introvert. I love being by myself. I like I do. I like being by myself. But I am married, So that kind of screws that one right. But I also was a public speaker for many years. I taught college for 25 years. So I have that, I'm those letters that are the type that are 100% an introvert that can turn on being an extrovert when he wants to. And so when it comes to work, YouTube, because I consider this a job, work, when I need to step up and be an extrovert, I can. I can switch the switch. But I prefer to be an introvert. Meme. You want to move to Germany for financial reasons? Well, I tell you what, as soon as you raise that $5 million for me, then I will let you move to Germany. I will give you permission to live in Germany. How's that? You know, but first you got to help me buy the dream house for my wife. Maybe I ought to quit calling it a beach house because we're not going to live on the beach. We want to live on the water. So maybe you think people would feel pity and empathy for me if I said I need to buy my wife a dream house versus a beach house? Which sounds better? Which sounds more non greedy? A $5 million dream house. I'll make sure to put that in there. But I would encourage you to move to Germany. I absolutely would. I would, if I was you, I would do everything you could to make that happen. The I got a friend that has that disc disease now. It means when the disc in your back are deteriorating, causes horrible pain, and limited mobility. I have a lumbar infusion in, oh shit, you're brave, 2016 and almost passed. Wow. Yeah, I can relate. I've had a lot of health issues. I was in a coma. I've actually died 4 times, been revived, and I was in a coma. Here's what I'll tell you. Why, with your health condition, I don't know if I would move to a third world country. If you want to live, why would you want to move to a third world country? You got to think long and hard about that. Now, if you're stable and can get around, because it's a lot of work and effort to live in another country. Shooting through your leg, the electricity, yes, I know. I don't have sciatica, but I have lumbar issues. So my lumbar nerve, I'm getting ready this winter to go have injections in it some more. Meme says, what sounds less greedy when you say, I live well in my beach house instead of I want a beach house? I want a beach house. Sounds less greedy. Yeah, if I said I live well in my beach house, that sounds like I'm bragging about how yeah. And I know you're saying greedy versus bragging or boasting, but I think that sounds greedier. I guess you're right. Thank you. Hey, there's Scott, my friend. How are you? How are you? Scott, expat in the Philippines. Good to see you, my friend. So that's just something I would think about when you move overseas. We lived overseas in the Philippines, and I got a lot of health issues. And, I don't know. I would really think long and hard before doing that. I just would. I tell people all the time, even the ones that want to come to America, like we have a lot of people that reach out to us and say, hey, I want to move to America. How do I get to America? And I said, well, first, why do you want to come here? Sometimes it's better to figure out how to live in your country and make do. Now, I understand there are places where there's like Shiite law or, the Muslim law. I can't pronounce it today. I've been talking about it so long. And poverty and all these things. So there's a lot of reasons you don't want to live in your country. But for like Koreans or Filipinos that all want to come here to America, sometimes it's better for them just to work Meek out a decent living there and stay in your home country. Scott's in the house. The universe has no clue about what you really want. It only has a clue about what you already did. And amplified life this. Well, but I thought we decided the universe didn't exist. So Scott, what have you been up to, man? How are you? What's going on? A lot going on in America right now. A lot going on. There's some news breaking about autism today. The American government is really trying to get a handle on autism, which I think is fantastic. We all know that as Americans are fat. We eat crap. We eat nothing but poison. I had a doctor's appointment today, and this came up because a lady was telling me her child had autism. And I'm like, well, the good news is the government actually wants to think about it and figure it out. But we all know the truth is about autism. So, meme says universe means God or the creator. Will you deny the creation you live in? Thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way. Well, that's, I think, a question for everybody. Do you have to deny it? Or do you have to embrace it? Do you have to do anything? Can't you just be? Can you just exist? Was there a creator? Is there a creator? Will there be a creator tomorrow? I was watching some stuff this weekend. Believe it or not. Oh, by the way, everybody, my wife got some beautiful jewelry for her wedding anniversary. Now I really am poor, meme. I really am poor. It was our 11th year wedding anniversary this weekend. So I took the beautiful Filipino wife out to a very expensive, overrated dinner. We did that. We got dressed up, and I looked handsome, and she looked good too. And but she got a gift of jewelry. So now I really am a poor old guy. So, but how do you know your eyes are real? Thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way. No one with real eyes can deny the creation. Well, what is real? What does real mean? But, my doggy's excited. My doggy died about 6 months ago, and, I'd like to have another one. We were at a pet store the other day and saw some, but they didn't have anything I wanted. And, of course, the breed that we have is way too expensive nowadays. So we didn't buy anything. But I don't know. Scott says, I got a few things to do. How are the birds, by the way, Scott? But I'm listening. So, Scott's a good channel, by the way. If anybody wants to subscribe to him, I encourage you to do that. I'm on a little bit earlier than normal tonight, but that's all right. Beautiful weather here, so I wanted to come outside and sit and enjoy my outdoor weather before winter comes in and my patio is covered in 95 feet of snow and ice. The real thing that comes over and over is like summer, fall, and winter. Well, can you even, we had about 2 weeks of summer. It feels like here. Maybe the changing of the seasons in certain parts of the world are about the only things you can count on. And that's a good question for everybody. What is the one thing that you can count on? What is the one thing you can count on? So that's what I wonder. What is the one thing? Sometimes I wonder that, and I go, well, I don't think there's is. Sure, can I count on my wife? Oh, absolutely, but I don't mean that. What is the one thing in and out, day in, day out, that you can count on, that no matter what, would still exist, be there, whatever it may be? So, that's a great question, But I did go to the doctor today, and the doctor said, hey, yeah, you're right. There's nothing I can do for you. And I said, well, thank you for taking my $40. And he's like, hey, yeah, no problem, man. Good to see you. So, like, yeah. And they even made me, I got a procedure I'm having done in December. My copay's like December the 30th. It's like $230. So I've already paid them, and it's what, September. How greedy are these hospitals now? They got my money 3 months early. Like, oh well, we see that you have a card on file. We'll just charge that card. I can count on that. The sun is rising daily. How do you know it's rising? And because if you invert yourself, wouldn't it be sinking each time? So how do you know you're in the right direction? Like this. You know, I can count on that. Well, that's all. Yeah, we can count on taxes. Freaking taxes. Don't get me started on taxes. Taxes are the cruelest thing there is. It just is. There's a big deal in Florida about property taxes, and hopefully they'll fix this. But nobody, after you own something, should have to pay taxes on it again. But in America, we like making you pay taxes on everything, including your waste. Yeah, we got to pay tax on the sewer. So, well, there you go. See, you got yourself in the right position. But I thought the Earth was flat. So if the Earth was flat, how can it circle the Earth? Or is it like a donut? Taxes for sure. There's a lot going on in America right now about Shiite law in in Minnesota, Michigan, the state of Michigan, and the state of Texas. Texas just passed laws, and there's stuff going on in America where they're going to make Shiite law illegal in America officially. So there's a lot going on in that. The Charlie Kirk thing. I don't know why I want to call him Cook, but how I know this, I watch oftentimes. I don't really, weird thing is, I really don't like sunrises. Does anybody like sunrises? I like to watch the sunset. That's the reason I sit out in the evening so much. And that's why my dream is to own a house overlooking the water, facing the west. Because the wind in my universe, the sun sets in the west. So I like to look west and see the sun set in the west. That's my big jam or thing. I like sunsets. When you can see the sun, for example, at 11 a.m. in the morning, and you made a circle with your finger so the sun can fit in it, like that. I don't think I've ever done that. I've never seen a reason to do that. But then again, I was told if you looked up at the sun and you stared at it for too long, you'd go blind. You'd go blind, because the sun was so powerful. It's like a welding stick. If you look at the welding stick, the arc of the welding stick, you'd go blind. So I never really look up at the sun. But I like watching it set on the horizon, going down the water, through the clouds and the buildings. That means the sun can't be that far away as told to. Well, I don't know. I can draw a circle around that vent. I can draw a circle around that way cloud over there. I can draw a circle with my finger anywhere, right? I mean, you're far away. I can draw a circle around you. Yeah, they got to tell us that because they don't. Yeah. Maybe someday I'll go visit the sun. You want to go with me, Mean? Dame is in the house. Good to see you. How are you? Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. We appreciate that. Nobody else is liking me today, so we appreciate that. How are you? How are things in your part of the world? I don't remember which country you're from, but you're welcome as always, of course. Meme. That's not very nice of you. I would go with you. Geez, if you wanted to go to the sun, I'd go with you. Man, come on. You're just not a very nice guy today, meme. Fine. I won't let you go with me now. You're going to have to book your own spaceship and go. Sure, you'll go with me. That's right. Got some hearts afloat in there. Thank you for that. So, yeah, things are good here. How's everything in your part of the world? Weather, history, science, math, women, men, politics, religion. A lot going on here, but that's all right. This week, we're still trying to find a venue for my wife's birthday party for next spring. We did some of that last week, but we got more to do this week because, my God, my wife is going to drive me crazy trying to help her set up this party, which I don't want to help her do. Try what I said and try to fool me again. I can't. I don't have a sun. The sun is gone. It went away. It's way over there behind the horizon. I can't do the sun, man. It doesn't work. It's not there anymore. It went away. But it's good to be, man. I was watching some. Oh, I was going to say you got me sidetracked. Now I got to rethink what I was going to tell you. I watched this weekend about um, the creation of the universe. God, now I got to think about it. I had it all in my brain, and now I went and forgot it. I watched an ancient alien type thing this weekend that talked all about one theory about the creation of the universe. But now I can't remember because I forgot it. My God. That's what happens when you get old, man. Stuff just comes in your brain and goes right outside your brain. You know, but it's all bullshit. We don't learn from the official source, right? Yeah. Well, that's what the official says. If you don't learn from me, then it's bullshit. The problem with the smart people, which I don't know where any are, they don't know who the official is. If you think you're the official person, then are you really the official person? You know, I mean, I don't know. And plus, you got to ask yourself, who would want to be the official, right? Um, are you official? That's right. You know, am I official? I don't know. If I say am official, who gave me? Why do I think that? How would I think that? You know, maybe there is no officials. Maybe there is nobody that you know. It's kind of like that's what I think about religion. A lot of times is about that and different belief systems. Let's not just say religion, but belief systems. I want to say that about belief systems. You know, I know so many people that have a strong belief about one thing or another, and if you don't believe their official narrative, then you're wrong. It's fishy. It sounds fishy, not official. I am fishy, man. I ate fish yesterday. I made a fish hoagie. You know what a hoagie is? A sandwich. I had some fish in the refrigerator. I cooked it up, fried it up, and chopped it up, and made me a really nice hoagie sandwich out of it. So I am kind of fishy, you know, and I do like to fish. So I think I would be a perfect candidate to be the lead fishy. I'm the lead fishy, you know. I don't believe anybody who says they're the official. If you raise your hand and say, I am the official, I am the expert, then right then and there, I know that you're probably full of BS, right? So that's what I know. The people that think they know it all probably, you know, they don't realize that we all know that they're full of crap. So the so-called experts, you know, who think they got it all figured out, well, good luck to them, you know. Only smart people know that they're not smart. So, and guess what? I'm not smart. Woo! I really like to eat fish when it's made right. I do too. I like fish, but I don't like fish. I like a lot of fish in a lot of different ways. I am the 100% unofficial you could ever meet. I understand. I understand. I was official once. And then I got married and now I'm a nobody again. I used to be smart, but now I'm not. I'm just a guy that sits out on my front porch or back porch, whatever this is, watches the birds. I'm officially old YouTuber. I am, can I be an expert though? Would I qualify as a subject matter expert? Scott, our good friend Scott is saying, "Hey there, meme. How are you, my friend? You sound really happy to be married." I think so. I mean, happy with the marriage? Yes. I don't see a way to improve the marriage. I do see where I could be happier in life. You know what I mean? So I really do. I think the marriage couldn't be any happier, I don't guess. I guess if we were filthy rich and we got to travel, that would make us happier because we'd spend more time together and have more experiences. But overall, I think you're right. The marriage is good. It's happy. I'm good. I don't see you can make a marriage any better. But life could be happier. Yeah, I don't know. What about anybody else? Scott, what do you? Scott's happy in his marriage, I'm sure. I feed your lyrickies and they are happy. Nice. I it's I think the hummingbird, season in my part of the world, the migration pattern's over, so they're gone. So all we have now are. I got a new hummingbird feed, Scott. See that? That's that's a brand new hummingbird feeder that I did a short on. A company sent me that for free. They sent me one for free. They said, "Hey, we saw on your YouTube channel that you guys feed the hummingbirds. How would you like to have a hummingbird feeder?" And I go, "Oh, sure, all right." And then I feed my doves and my other birds bird seed, but I only feed them every few days because I don't want them to get too greedy. An expert is someone that's sturdy his stuff over and over, studied his stuff over and over again on a daily basis with the same outcome. Yeah, unless you're insane, and then unless you know, I mean, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, and getting the same result. Yeah, hummingbirds, but I think the migration pattern's over. But this year we had more than we ever had before. So we had more than we ever had before. Based on real ground, not Galileo. Why are you picking on him? And seed, yeah, we have doves and blackbirds and we have cardinals. We don't have any really. In my part of the country, the birds are pretty plain Jane because one, we don't. This is a big, gigantic open field that we kind of live in, so there's not a lot of trees and habitat. So, but I did have a company reach out to me today, Scott, telling me that they would like to send me another bird feeder with a camera in it for free. So I'll have to think about that. Sanity is the path between genius and Trump. Triumph, maybe. Genius and triumph. I would go with that one. So I do think. I think you're close. I think insanity and genius is less than a tenth of degree separation. I mean, they run parallel to each other. I 100% really agree with that. I think, insane people and genius people, you know, and for example, Elon Musk, I think he's a certified genius But you could also look at him and say he's absolutely insane. So, you know what I mean? So, I think they run in parallel. Cameron Harris says, Genius, Jesus is King. Hello, welcome in. Thank you for the thumbs up. How are you today? How are things in your part of the world? What's going on in your part of the world? Are you having a great week? It's a beautiful night here in my part of the world. The mosquitoes are still out, but give it a few more weeks and hopefully they'll go away. So, all right, so your lorikeets come down from Queensland, Australia, far north, and Southport, Surfer's Paradise. That's cool. That is cool. Genius for me is someone that knows what he can do, but don't use it against full satiety. Okay, I like that. Only use it for humanity. Okay. Okay, I don't disagree with that meme. I actually kind of like that. Having a great day, beautiful weather. Can't, I know, man. Look at this weather out here. I'll show you my backyard. See, look at the beautiful skies. We had storms all weekend, but it is absolutely gorgeous out tonight. Here in a couple weeks, I got to take all my house plants inside and get them put away for the winter. Pat's in the house. Good to see you, Pat. Scott, the expat in the Philippines, is saying, hello, Cameron. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming into David's live stream and giving him a thumbs up and supporting his channel and subscribing to his, that's me, by the way, subscribing to my channel. Your biggest ideal has no impact when no one is there. I agree. I agree. I agree totally. It's like the tree in the forest thing. Wow, yeah, they have cockatoos and I don't know how to pronounce that. Carlils? I don't know that bird. Wow. You got a lot of cool birds. That's the bad thing. The tropics have a lot of cool birds. I just got to say. America doesn't have that many cool birds. Our coolest bird, I think, is the hummingbird. Good to see you, brother David and everybody. Pat, good to see you. How are you doing, buddy? I went to the doctor today, Pat, and I knew what the doctor was going to say. Sorry, nothing I can do for you. I'm like, well, thank you for taking my $40 and telling me nothing, telling me what I already knew. Scott says, Pat's Philippine Dreams, good to see ya. Doing good? Nice. Good, 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 good. Ah, it's typical, right? You know, well, there's nothing we can do for you. But thank you for the $40. That was how much my copay was. Hey, brother Scott, how are you? How's your weather, Pat? Did you guys get a lot of storms over the weekend? It's going to start getting, I need to get some fishing in. But October's right around the corner, obviously. We did very cold weather. Wow, really? We got down in the 60s, but at one point, but that was about it. That was about it. The trees are starting to change color here. We're starting to get some leaves to turn colors. So that's one thing that's happening here. We are doing that. I can tell that some of it is just starting to turn, just starting. So I'll probably have to take my wife on a drive to like Branson, Missouri, up through the mountains and the hills and all of that stuff. I may go this weekend. I may go to on a drive this weekend. I don't know. I'm hoping she's going to go. She was going to go with some girlfriends this weekend and do something, but I don't think she is. But then she messaged me a few minutes ago and said that she thought she was going to somewhere else. So I don't know. Names in the house saying hello, I think is what those little purple dogs are. I can't tell how small they are, what they are. Trees are genius. They repeat the same procedure over and over, no matter what. Well, what procedure is that? What, photosynthesis, water uptake, dropping their leaves. Trees are underrated. I will say this. I'm a big tree fan. I took a forestry class way back, when I was a young man. So about 2 days ago, I took a forestry class a long time ago. And I used to know my trees, but I don't know them anymore. But trees are underrated part of the ecosystem. I'll tell you that. If we had no trees, told you I was going to get blocked in. I was going to get locked. Flower blooms matter. If you hate them or not, they do. So does a weed. Hey, meme, does anybody know the definition of a weed? It's overcast here. I had to take mom down to the doctor's appointment. Bummer. Arlene got a new job here. Wow. Wow. Congratulations. Is she happy about it? Oh, crap. I got bit. Is she happy about the new jobs? Love you. Just checking on you. The wife says to me, not to all of you in the background. She's talking to me. Weed is sauerkraut? No. I'll give you guys an autographed picture of me naked who can guess the definition of what a weed is. How's that? Hi, everybody. Gotta go. All right. Keep working. Keep making that money, honey. You know, bring home that bacon. Woohoo! So we can pay them doctor bills. The doctor said, hey, thank you for the $40. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with you. Go away. Scott and everybody saying hello. Meme is saying hello, sea siren. Hello, Laura. Everybody saying hello to the wife. Hello, wife. It was good to see you. Thank you for coming into the live stream and brightening our day today. So we all know how important it is for you to be here. Come on, who wants a neat autographed picture of me naked? All you got to do is tell me the definition of what a weed is. Yeah. Hey, they go off the shelves like this, man. I sell them for like millions of dollars each. Hi, wife. Thanks for washing. I wash the dishes. What are you, crazy, meme? You know, wash the dishes in this house and do laundry? Me. I send my wife to work to earn the bucks, man. Uh, Not me, a bit personal. There you go. Yeah, I do that. I do. Well, Lorelai keeps house too. We do a lot of things together, to be honest. But I usually do the laundry. I clean a lot of the dishes. Now, I wish what I try to do, and you guys let me know. Here's what I wanted to do. All right, there's only two of us in the house, right? So you guys tell me if I'm wrong, and you guys got to give me a thumbs up. But tell me if I'm wrong. Here is my strategy. All I need is one glass, one plate, one bowl, one spoon, one fork, right? So that's all Lorelei should need. So all we should have is that per person. And then what you do is every time you eat on it, you wash it and put it in the rack, and then you never take anything out of the cabinet ever again. And you never have to put anything away. It's all sitting right there. If you need a plate, you get the plate. If you need the bowl, you get the bowl, right? You rinse it out, you put it back on, and you never have to do dishes. I thought that was brilliant. It lasted about 12 minutes. Think we have to do an intervention. Brother David, get a favor for after live interview. Sure. Yeah, we can talk. Yeah, Pat. Yes. We can do that. Me wash dishes, clothes, make beds, vacuum. I do all of it too. And you even look at after the 80-year-old, 89-year-old mama. I do too. Lorelai likes to vacuum better than I do because she's better at it. She doesn't think I do a good job. But we both vacuum, we both clean the house, but I do all the laundry. And I do a lot of the deep cleaning. It's like this week I need to clean the laundry room, and I'm going to do some rearranging in our master bedroom. But I'll do all of that. I'll do all of that myself. Yeah, Pat, we can do that. You're definitely right, but what? Come on, but what? I mean, because here's what I was thinking. When I came up with that, when I came up with this theory, I was watching a show about prison, right? I was watching a show about prison. I'm like, well, marriage is kind of like a prison in a sense. And I was watching this show about the Criminal Institution Center and how these prisoners get a cup and a spoon, right? And that's their cup they take in their jail cell, right? So why don't we do that? Why don't, if it's okay for prisoners, why shouldn't we just have one cup? So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I have no time to wash my plate, fork, all that stuff. Every time I have to dishwasher, that's what it does for me. Well, yeah, but look how much energy, time, and money you're spending loading and unloading the dishwasher. I'm here instead of washing. See, and that's the best place to be is here. Only smart people. One thing we've learned over the years, man, my hat's getting dirty, is only smart people come to this live stream. Have you ever noticed that? I had somebody tell me the other day, they sent me a message and say, hey, I'm not a very smart person. Can I join your live stream? And I emailed them back and said, well, only if you're smart enough. Charles, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, Charles. What are you up to, my friend? Housework? But I do a lot of the housework. Lorelai does a lot when she's off, but I do a lot of the housework. Sure, we noticed that. You got to be smart to be on my live stream. We only allow smart people here. So if you're allowed to drop a chat, then I think you're smart. I think you're smart. And I tell you what, whoever donates that $5 million for me to get a house for my wife will be the smartest person in the whole entire world. Just got off work, heading home, man. You work too hard, my friend. Charles is a good guy who works hard, takes care of his family. My housekeeper does all that stuff. We don't have a housekeeper. We're too poor. We're not rich like you mean. We're poor people. I'm just saying. But I promise you, if I told my wife over the weekend, because we had some unexpected visitors. They called us up when they were about 10 minutes from our house saying, hey, are you home? We're going to stop by. And we're thinking, shit. Now we got to rush around and get the house all picked up and put everything away and make it look like our house wasn't a pigsty, right? And my wife was complaining about it, and I told her, I said, that's all right. When I win the lottery, I'm going to hire somebody to literally do nothing but walk behind me and clean up after me every day, 24 hours a day. That's all that person's job is going to do, is to walk behind me and pick up after me. Well, that's a great meme, yes. Hey, there's Maria. Maria, how are you? How's the land of Canada today? Happy first day of fall. September the 22nd is fall, yes. Also known as the autumn equinox. That is correct. Pat saying hello to you. Maybe you can reach this kind of stuff. I mean, you're a part. There you go. Charles Sanders. Scott says hi to you. Scott's my good friend in Australia. Maria's saying hello to everybody. Everybody said hello to Maria. Yeah, first day of fall. Leaves are starting to turn here. We had big storms come through over the weekend. I spent thousands of dollars on my wife over the weekend, and now I'm really, 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 really poor because it was our wedding anniversary. So we had to go do that this weekend. I went to the doctor today. The doctor said, hey, there's nothing wrong with you, but I still want $40. See, there should be a policy. Well, I don't know. I don't know. So that's what we've been doing. But we know daylight savings times isn't until November. So I guess I'm ready for the fall. I guess. I'm going to go fishing again. I hate winter, so you guys are going to hear me bitch about the winter a lot. I'm going to blame it all on meme, but I'm going to bitch about the winter. We call that autumn here in Australia. Yeah, we do too. We call it autumn and fall. It's kind of the same thing. So a lot of people use the term autumn, like autumn dance, autumn festival, but the season's called fall, but we don't call like fall festival. It's usually the autumn festival. The older generations use the word autumn a whole lot more than the young generation who can only spell four-letter words. Please blame me, I am German. I will do it, buddy, you know that. Happy wedding anniversary, thank you, thank you. Were you singing on MJ's channel earlier today? Is that what you were doing up there? Maria, thank you for that. So, we got a busy winter coming up. We got a Halloween party you guys are all welcome to. Apparently, we got a big other party coming in October the 1st, or I don't know, somewhere. So, Maria's like, hey, Scott. Scott's down in the land of kangaroos. We had a very short, well, to be honest, I felt like our summer in America, where we were, was only about 2 to 3 weeks long because we had so much rain and really cool temperatures. Then we had about 3 weeks of hot and dry weather, and then now all of this started. And then the cold weather came back. So I feel like we only had about 3 weeks of real summer. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that for the wedding anniversary. Why you celebrate all this system stuff? Why not? It gives us something to do. It's good for the economy. It makes humans feel good about themselves. One thing you got to understand, humans want a reason to feel good. This is something I learned years ago because I'm not a human. But I learned by studying humans that humans want to feel good. They want a reason to feel good. They want a reason to be excited. Oh, summer's coming, yay! Oh, fall's coming, yay! Oh, winter's coming, no, shit, that sucks. They want a reason. Humans need a reason. And that's our, somebody would say, well, what is your reason for being? The reason for being is so that you can have reason. That's it, it's a vicious circle. Yeah, I was singing and MJ lost connection. I left on his. I saw that. I thought I saw that. I was busy all day, so I couldn't hang out and sing there. So we all know that you're not human. Thank you. I'm glad you recognize that. I'm glad. I don't mean to tout my hat as a superior being or anything like that, but I'm glad you recognize I'm not human. Dam's in the house. Everybody say hello to our friend. Giving us some emojis. Subscribing to our channel if you haven't done that. Thumbs up. Kangaroos, wombats, kookaburras, gulls, which are birds if I remember right, the lorikeets, the cockatoos, and the corellas. I hope I said the last one right. Yeah, we're just the home. America is the home of the, what are we famous for here in America? Bigfoot. Bigfoot. Beep, beep. Please give us the beep, beep. Beep, beep. That's right. That's right. But a lot of stuff going on in America these days. I'm excited about America. I am. I'm excited for the world. I think the world's getting better. I am on my second house floor plan now. Wow. Wow. Charles is saying, Pat, how's it going for you up north, man? Charles is down south hanging out where the weather's probably warmer than us. When is the American dream? Man, it happens every day. Meme, the American dream happens every day. It all depends on what your dream is. It happens every day. Charles says, hello to you, Scott. Next year, be cold here in Columbus, Indiana. Woohoo! Yeah, Pat's saying it's cold where he is. Scott says, Bigfoot Donald Trump, he puts his Bigfoot in it. Yeah, he, the weird thing is, here's the thing I'll tell you, because I don't mind talking about politics, because I respect everybody's opinion. I don't say anybody's right or wrong. I just say I'm right because I know everything because I'm not a human. I think the one flaw I have with Donald Trump is that he talks too much. That's the only flaw I have with him, to be honest. I don't care if he's not a perfect human because there are no perfect humans. but I don't like the fact that he ad-libs so much. If he would stick to the script on his speeches, I think they would come across better. But I think he talks too much. Drug addicts in America's dream, is that happen? Yeah, we have drug addicts everywhere. And for some people, it is the dream. Look, I know people, to be honest, they woke up every day and their dream was to get high. And I'm sure you've experienced this, in your part of the world. 90 degrees down in Texas, woohoo. 90 degrees is boiling water here in Europe. No, man, 90 degrees is like a day at the beach. Man, us Americans are tough. We're not afraid of 90 degrees in America. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. And we are tough. We're not like you Europeans. We're beginning to hate him down here, and we don't trust him one bit. I'm glad you have him. Yeah, I understand what's going on between the relations. Here's one thing I would tell you. He is definitely looking out for what he believes that is America's best interest is. And if you're not on board with it, then he doesn't care that you're not on board with it, right? But let me follow that up by saying that if the land of the kangaroo ever got in trouble, he would be right there next to you to defend you. So whether you guys like him or not, or like what we're doing here in the United States to help the United States, any of that, whether you guys like it or not, or even Germany and other countries, if something bad happened, Donald Trump's going to be the first country there to defend you. That's the question. Let me get up here. Tough or delusional? Isn't that the same thing? Sal's Journey Overseas. How are you doing, buddy? I'm doing good. Sal's, how are you, man? Thank you for the thumbs up and subscribing. What's going on in your part of the world? Maria, it's 55 Fahrenheit here. It's really nice, not cold at all. Well, that's cold to me. I don't like anything below 75, 70, 72. Water freezes at 0 degrees, boil at 100 degrees. Yeah, that's because you guys do it wrong. That's okay, though. We accept Europeans for the way they are. We don't hold it against you guys over in Europe for having things all goofy. It's okay. We like you anyway. I mean, we came over and hung out with your king the other day. So, we came out and hung out with your king, and I don't even know. Why were we there? Does anybody know why we were there? I forgot why we were in Europe the other day. Why Trump was in Europe. I don't remember. But some of it, the pageantry was pretty cool. But I had it made at a place called lakeshoresigns.com. Lakeshoresigns.com. So they make them. Custom make them. They got all kinds of templates that you can choose from and just put your name and thing in them. I mean, it's a metal. There's several of them on the internet, but the one I got it from is called lakesidemetalworks.com. You came here to make war. We did? Did we win? Did it work? What else? Anytime, Sal. I really did like, Lorelai and I watched some of the pageantry when Trump was in Europe, with the king and the lady in the blue dress, and then Prince, the younger couple. Some of the pageantry was pretty cool. All the horses and the carriages and the military people. That stuff was pretty cool. We helped you out during all 3 wars, which one will we all expect? Vietnam, Korea, we all had no tariffs situation, but now when another war comes along, we ain't fighting. And that's okay, Scott, and I understand that because I talked to other people from Australia. If you don't want to help, and what I'm telling you, and I've told people this, and this is the honest truth, that's okay. Every country has the right to do what they think is in their best interest. Now, but what I'm going to tell you, that if your country was, even if you didn't fight it with us ever again, if you were attacked, we would defend you. Saying in the PH for 6 months every year now, we avoid the Canadian, that's the smartest thing to do. Yeah, no one wins. Everybody loses. The only people that wins are the weapon people. You know what I mean? The people that make guns. They're the only ones that win, man. Are the warmongers. They're the only ones that wins. But we hold nothing against Australia. America doesn't. We we're putting tariffs in place to re-level the playing field economically for the United States. And we as the Americans, Scott, and I'll just tell you to be honestly, we're okay with anybody that doesn't want to do business with us. We're okay with that. Fine. We understand. We appreciate you. We appreciated your help, your business in the past. If you don't want to be friends now, okay. You know what I mean? But if somebody came and punched you in the nose, we're going to be there to help you. Taiwan, China will sort it out. Let them. Sal says. Still here in San Antonio. I'll be retiring November the 26th, or November 2026, and moving to the Philippines. Nice, Sal. Which part of the Philippines again? Scott says Taiwan and China will sort it out. It'll be let them sort it out, and we have peace. You guys have peace with both countries. Well, you had some problems with China a few months ago, circling your country and doing some war maneuvers. So I do think on a political stage, it would be foolish for any country to think China would not invade them. China would not attack them. I think it would be foolish for any government in the world, I don't care how big or little, to think you could trust the Chinese government. Even Russia and North Korea can't trust China, and China can't trust those two. So I think that's something that everybody has to understand. Nobody can trust those three countries. That's my belief. They make their money about humans live. I'm not a fan of that. I know, man. Wow, congrats. Yeah, 2026. Enjoy the, yes. You know, we go over in 27. We got to go back over in 27. The spring of 27 is when we go back to the Philippines. We almost went this year for a funeral, but we didn't make it. Ain't got no problems, America, but we had no tariffs policy between us and England. All right. Well, that's between you and England. I don't know anything about that. Between U.S. and England, there was tariffs. Scott, even for years and years now, we've been paying a tariff for our goods to get into England and other countries. It's cost our manufacturers more to sell in England. And there's so many things on the list that they wouldn't allow us to sell in England, for example. So the only way to go to get a deal done is to say, hey, fine. If you don't want a Ford vehicle, as an example, sold in your country, then we don't want the Mini Cooper sold in our country. If you want to sell it here, then you got to pay this gigantic tax or tariff. But we can negotiate this and get back to this eventually where it's 0-0. But it has to be fair trade back and forth. And right now, for the years, it hasn't been fair trade on America. Our leaders have not done a good job of fair trade for us, everyday Americans. And I don't care what anybody country does. As an American, I think it's time for America to stand up for America, for the little people in America, for the farmers, for the ranchers, for the people that have small businesses, for their religious beliefs. People need to stand up and say, no, it's time for us to do what's good for us. Forget the rest of the world. We need to do what's best for us. Well, we are having a tariff war, but I think it's okay. It's all going to get worked out. That's one thing a lot of people don't understand. A lot of this stuff is just back and forth negotiations. Western Visayas Island, Negros, Saxon. Oh, I remember you telling me that now. Yes, that's right. That's real close to Cebu. We don't and can trust everyone's government. Yeah, don't trust anybody's government. Hello, Brother Sal. Thank you, Tita Marie. It's never zero. It's never 0 to 0. I think it's time for America to become great. I would love to stay in the Philippines full time, but we can't. We lose it. That's right. You got to have those benefits. I understand that. Yeah. We great again. Make America great again. And I don't blame other countries for trying to do the same. I don't blame other countries for taking advantage of our weak government over the years. I don't blame them. I would do the same. But American people want to stand up for themselves. So, and I am one of these people, believe it or not, that I don't think America ought to stick their nose in other people's business. I think we ought to mind our own business, which means we're going to look out for the United States first, period. And then maybe we'll look out for you. It's called being in isolationism, like Woodrow Wilson, the President Woodrow Wilson. There is no again, it never was. Have a great day, buddy. When are you going back to the Philippines, Scott? When do you go? Are you going back this year to the Philippines? It's wars, that's only. Well, and, look, one thing I'll say, Meme, is, oh, you're going to go back in 2029. So you got a couple years before you're going back. Are you going to go back and stay or just for another vacation? Or you kind of, because I can't remember if you told me that you guys are going to retire there after your mom passes away. I couldn't remember what your long-term plan was. But what I suggest, and maybe this is, the American jerk in me, is if you don't like America, if you don't like what America stands for, or what the people in America does, or how they believe or feel, or what they like to eat, or anything like that, then don't watch movies, don't buy our products, don't engage. Focus on what you do like. It's called being in isolationism. Focus on what you like and not what you don't like. You'll be happier if you focus on what you do like versus what you don't like in another part of the world. That's what I think. Nice. Going back in December, right for Christmas? That's right. You're getting your land sorted out. Yeah, we got to do the same. We're going back in 27, Scott, to get our land squared away. I was 3 times in America. The best thing is leaving. Well, then I would recommend me not coming back. If you come to America and the best thing is leaving, then don't come back to America. Now, if you're saying the best thing is getting home, well, then that's understandable, because when I travel, the best place to be is when I get back home. I've never regretted leaving anywhere. I've never went, hey man, it was great to leave here. I guess it's always great to get home. So it depends on your perspective. But if you really hated America, then don't come here. We're real big on that. Don't do it. I'm not here for the government. I'm here for the humans that live there. Well, I understand that, but America are the people. The government and the people are one and the same. You can't separate. You can't. And we won't do it. America is the government. The government is America. The people is America. America is the people. We're all one. We all have a singular voice. We all have rights and opinions. So if you don't like the government, then I wouldn't come here, because government is everywhere in America. I mean, it just is. Well, Meme, if you're saying the law, nobody likes laws. I hate laws too. I would have been born 200 or 300 years ago, but then again, we'd had feudal law or the king's law. I mean, I don't like the laws either, man. I don't like paying taxes, but we have a clear title, just adding our 4th lot to R3. Yes, we're kind of do the same thing. We have clear title, and we're trying to decide what we're going to do in that community with the land, and we're also going to look at buying some more land. So we're kind of do the same. So are you a murderer? Sure, why not? If you want to say that Americans are murderers, then I am an American and I'll take blame for that. Absolutely. I stand by my country. I have to. It would be so dishonorable of me to throw my country under the bus, and I would never do it. I don't care. I will never, ever, ever throw the United States under the bus. Not going to do it. I would not expect any of you guys to do it either. I would expect everybody to fight tooth and nail for the pride of their country. And if you couldn't do that, if you wouldn't do that, then that's sad. But that's just the way it is. I don't care where I'm at, I would stand up for America. Absolutely. We talk about the actual situation, not history, that happens before we were born. Well, I understand that. But garbage, if you consider it garbage, it's garbage. I take it. I take ownership and responsibility for even the politicians I didn't like, I don't agree with. You know, I wasn't a Biden fan, not because he was a Democrat, because he was an idiot, right? But I never ever would dishonor the office of the president, no matter who the president was, because that's un-American. That's how I see it. Pat says, yippers. I love the states no matter what's going on here. That's right. We're looking forward to land. Oh, you're looking last April, and it's so expensive. Yes. You know, what a lot of people don't understand, you talk about the Philippines, land prices in the Philippines have skyrocketed. They've really started to jump up. They really have. And I would encourage anybody who says, you know what, I wouldn't stand up for my home country, not to live there. I'd go live somewhere else. I don't know. That's just how I feel. If I was deeply religious, I would stand up for everything I believe. I mean, I just would. I don't know. Maybe that's just the American personality. Good, bad, or ugly, we're going to stand next. I mean, if shit hit the fan, I would even hang out with the crazy people in America and stand by them and defend them. The crazy, the lunatics, you know, we just would. That's what Americans do. We have each other's back. Whether we like each other or not doesn't matter. Push comes to shove, it's the ideology of America that we're fighting for. Yes, I remember Hitler. The system is your belief system, not the church or the government. It is, but it's intertwined in America. You know, for the people, by the people. That's part of the government. The checks and balances that we have in our system in America, that is America. That's who we are. It goes all the way from the president's office all the way down to my local city council. So it's ingrained in us. It's inbred upon us. It's deeper than just a ideology. It's what we live and breathe in America. Well, and that's okay if you think it's sad, but it is the way it is. I would not, I don't have a problem with it. It is what it is. Well, and then, of course, I know there's a lot of people that don't like our American dream, then don't come here. Don't be a part of the American dream. Don't benefit from the American dream. Don't benefit from your own country's dream. If your country, if the people in your country can't stand up for that country, to me, that's sad. That people in a country couldn't defend it or care about defending that country. It's going to be good now. We will enjoy it with our family and then start to build on it as soon as we get the plans. Yes. Yeah, we haven't decided what we're doing with our land, Scott, to be honest. We don't know if we're going to build multiple homes or just one big. We don't know yet. That's why we got to go back in 2027 and kind of start figuring out the community that we bought in, the area. I mean, not community as in a neighborhood, but the big area. They're doing an airport and some malls. So we want to see how nicely that's developing before we decide what to put on that land, is kind of what we're doing. Oh, meme, I'm not going to go research anything. I can, and I'll tell you, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of food for thought. I can take the word Germany and I can do some research and find all kinds of things that it means. I can write in Wikipedia what it means, my opinion, what it means. I can make it do. I don't really care. It's what it's not about. It's not about the definition, your definition, or somebody else's definition that doesn't live here. It's about the people that live in the country's definition of their country. If you don't live here, work here, pay taxes here, and would fight and die for your country, then your definition of that country has nothing to do with it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, Wikipedia is really stupid. You send it to the architect. Oh, all right. So you're going to have an architect officially take your floor plan and draw it up. Well, and Scott, one thing we looked at was this. Instead of drawing up a house, I think, to be honest, what we were going to do, Scott, was get a builder and kind of pick a floor plan. You know what I mean? A pre-made plan, blue plans. What do you call those? Blue plans, blueprints. So we were going to do that and maybe make a couple of modifications. That's what we were going to do. We are going to get a builder, get the blueprints, and hopefully the guy would stick to the building plan and build it that way. That's what we were going to do. Wikipedia is full of stupid stuff. Just build a house, not more than one, okay? Enjoy being. Well, what we're looking at, Scott, is if we build multiple houses, then my wife can use them as rental properties. So if Lorelai goes back and lives there, like after I'm deceased, if she decides to, which she doesn't want to, she would rather stay here in America, then she would maybe live in one house and rent another one, right? And or we thought about building houses on them, on the property, right? And then hiring a property manager so that she can earn income even while living in America. So that's kind of where we're at, because Lorelai is probably 80% confident that she wants to stay in America. So Meme is saying it's not about the definition, my definition, it's about the founders and what they take the name. It does come from what's true meaning behind it. Well, all right, so do you have a problem with the true meaning of America? Or do you just not like Donald Trump? Do you not like Joe Biden? Do you not like how you were treated in America? So if you have a problem with America, what truly is it? Don't like the government and the laws? I don't like some of the laws in the Philippines, but when I go to the Philippines, I follow the laws because it's their country, not my country. If I come to Germany, which maybe we will next year, by the way, I will research and make sure I don't do anything bad in Germany. When I go to Turkey, I will do the same thing. When I've been to Aruba and the Bahamas and all these other places, what I do is I behave myself according to their rules and regulations. You know what I mean? That's what you have to do. And what we have a problem with in American, Scott says, I'm an architect. I will send it to. Okay, I am an architect. I will send it to our architect there to put it into the Philippines. Okay, I got you. So they'll convert it over into the Filipino system. Gotta go. Chat later, mate. Good to see you. Take care of the birds, buddy. Scott, take care, buddy. My question was, do you know? No, tell me the meaning. I know that's your question, so answer your own question. What's your meaning? What's your definition? What's the definition? So, and is Germany the same thing it was 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Pat says, I got to be right back, man. I got to go outside. Take it easy. So whether you like a country or not, and there's a lot of countries that I don't think I would enjoy visiting, but there's a lot that I would. But I encourage everybody who travels to behave, and if you can't behave, and we talk about this a lot with expats, and a lot of these expats can't behave in Mexico and the Panama and the Philippines and Thailand and all these other places, they can't behave, then they shouldn't go there. And I'm just really big on that. If you don't like something, don't go there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Why put yourself? I know people here in America that I never would want to go to their house. I don't like their house. I think it smells. So I don't go to their house. And I think that's the great thing about America is you can do what you want here and come and go as you please. So America's a great country that has a lot of problems. There's a lot of other great countries that have a lot of problems, and that's okay. The good thing is America will have your back no matter what. If you don't have our back, that's okay. We'll still have your back. And that's how the American people are. The American people fight for the underdog. We fight for the oppressed. We have in history. And we will continue to do it whether anybody likes us or not. Now, that's what the American people do. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know. I don't think it is. It may not be the right thing to do, right? Well, then maybe we should destroy the world. And that's okay. You know, maybe that's what we should do. I think you're probably misinterpreting the definition, and that's okay. You know, miscategorizing the definition and the word and the parts of the word, the subpart, and all, and that's okay, me. It's okay. I don't mind people hating on us. I really don't. All I know is when shit hits the fan, who are you going to call? Right? If Germany's invaded tomorrow, who are you going to call? Right? If Poland is invaded tomorrow, who are you going to call? If Canada's invaded, who are they going to call? And right now, they hate us. The government hates us in Canada. But the people of Canada would be on the horn so hot and heavy saying, please come and help us, and we will do it. And that's just the way it is, you know? Maria, take care. It was good seeing you singing earlier. And keep up the good work. Keep enjoying Canada until you leave in December. You're going to go for 6 months, right? You go to Canada for 6 months, so. All right. So you'll definitely get out of the Canadian winter for the most part. But it's good to see you. Thank you, Maria. In the land of Canada. So, yeah, we were hoping to take a trip this fall, but I don't think we're going to be able to pull off a trip anywhere. So I don't think we're going to go anywhere this fall, not for sure. Except for local. We are going to go to some tourist towns around us. I know that much. But we were thinking about doing a cruise, and I can't decide if we're going to take a Christmas trip. So I haven't decided that. Meme says, the leadership behind all this crap leads us to the point that we have already. Yeah? Okay. I think that's the definition of leadership. The leadership behind all this crap leads us to the point we already have. Okay, I don't disagree. I will never blame any small citizens. We are all under the influence. I don't disagree with that. I think everybody's under the influence to one degree to another from one area. And I think everybody's under either micro influence or macro or both. Everybody is influenced by brother, sister, mom, dad, right? The neighbor, the school teachers, which in America should not influence children. The preachers, the people at church. So we are all influenced by others on so many different levels. And then, of course, all the way up to the top. For a lot of people, the Pope guy, the Catholic Church guy, the Pope, he's the ultimate influence. What he says goes. So he's the most influential person in the world, right? So, for the Muslims, they got their system. For the Christians, it's theirs. So when we're being influenced by everybody, the governments, the grocery stores, the food companies. We can't and that's something that drives me crazy. We can't get away from being influenced and manipulated. It's just the news. I was so frustrated the other day. I was trying to find something out. I can't remember what it was. I just wanted to know what happened I didn't want a bunch of drama. I didn't want any opinions. I just wanted to know I can't remember what it was, but there's something I was on the internet trying to figure out I heard this, what happened? I couldn't find out what happened. All I could find was everybody had an opinion and they were running their mouths and speculating, but I couldn't get the details. And it was so frustrating because I don't want to be influenced. I just want the data so that I can understand it, you know? And that drives me crazy. Just give me the data and I'll do my own influencing. I have to deal daily with Hitler and all this stuff. I am a Nazi. No, I don't. It's more than 80 years past. Yeah. I understand that. And I do think Germany gets a bad rap for that still. And I understand that. It's kind of like, and that's a tough one to be honest. I think it's going to take 2 or 3 generations. Meaning it's not fair for Germany to be looked down upon because of that. Now, it's really not fair for the people of Germany. And as long as the government of Germany has denounced that repeatedly over and over and over and over and over, and I know they have, then they shouldn't be either. But it's going to be something that's going to take 2 and 3 generations pass before that is chilled out somewhat. I can only talk about the stuff that I've already gone through. Yeah, you're only an expert in I actually believe that what you've actually personally experienced. So everybody wants to be an expert in everything, but unless you personally experience it, I don't think you're an expert. So I don't think you are. But every country's that way. I mean, America has a bad history. Canada has every country has a bad history if you look into it. And the Hitler one's a big one. It's a big boo-boo, you know. But in another 50 years, 80 years, yeah, in about another 50 years, because trust me, in America, I know the young people, the ones in America that are 18, 19, and 20, if you ask them who Hitler is, they're going to go, does he work for Donald Trump? They're not going to know who Hitler is. So as time goes on, that's going to fade more and more. 3 generations, but it's going to take longer than that. It's kind of like here, most people don't know who JFK was, the president that was assassinated. So it takes time. And, I think I told you guys all about the story of Dallas, Texas. After JFK was assassinated in Dallas, Texas, nobody wanted to do business in Dallas, Texas in the 60s, in the early 70s. Nobody. Dallas had a bad reputation. Companies didn't want to go there. People didn't want to live there because that's where John F. Kennedy, the president, was shot and killed, right? So they didn't want to go there. It wasn't until the TV show called Dallas that came out and showed how great Dallas was and how beautiful the city was and how cool it was and how this sexy blonde girl could walk around in the bikini, in Dallas, Texas, before people started liking Dallas again. Pat says, I am back. I'm back in that. It's good to have you, Pat. Back, Pat. Good to see you. I agree. And that's our fault. The new American generation, I do believe, is dumb as rocks. And that's our fault in America. That is. We have done a gigantic disservice to young people in America. We have. And they're going to have some very hard lessons to learn over the next 50 years. So, is that my American dream? Is that the American dream to be stupid? Oh, yeah, and JR got shot in Dallas too, right? Isn't that kind of funny? I didn't know if anybody would ever pick up on that, Jimmy. That JFK thing, and then JR got shot in Dallas. So, Joe and Journey, Joe's in the house. Good evening. How are you? So, I don't know if it's the American dream to be stupid or not. I don't know. What's the German dream? I don't think it's anybody's dream to be stupid. I don't think it's anybody's dreams to make people stupid. Well, it may be. Depending on I do believe that there are people that believe the stupider they can make us, the more money they make us. Correct. Everybody say hello to Joe and Jimmy. Good to see you guys. Jimmy, how are you? What's going on in your part of the world? Joe, how's things going in your world? How you feeling these days? Thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way, as you came in. So I went to the doctor today. Here's my funny for the day. I went to the doctor today, right? And of course, I knew when I went there the doctor was going to find nothing wrong, but he still charged me $40. So I'm wondering, I'm thinking, man, why don't you give me back my $40 since you didn't find anything wrong with me? The German dream is to bring the world further. All right. Through technology and wisdom. Well, that's a great dream. It sounds like a dream, that's for sure. The real question is, can you actually do it? Everyone has dreams when it comes to America. Individually dreams, that's right. My dream was to marry my wife, I guess. People all over the world all just want one thing, the freedom to pursuit of happiness. That's right. I think, you know, it would be sad if America only had one dream, if Americans only had one dream. In America, you get to dream individually. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, whether you think that leads to success or failure, America is built on the foundation that I get to have my own American dream. Jimmy gets his, Joe gets his. Me, if you were in America, you would even get your own. Oh, it sounds like a dream. Where does the technology come from that runs the world? Well, not from Earth. I'm telling you, I have more technology out in my spaceship than the whole planet on Earth. I could give out technology from my spaceship, you know, and you know, solve the problems of the Earth. I do think there are a lot of problems I think there's some common problems worldwide that we're facing. And I think we need to really think, I think, and I don't want to get too much in it because I'm not an expert. I am starting to learn more. I think one of the biggest threat to America and Europe, both, I think we have a common threat, and that is Shiite law, you know, Muslim law. Is it Shiite law? I think that's a problem. And I think that's going to become a bigger and bigger problem, both for Europe and America. I think we're going to have a religious battle over that. You like the aliens? So Shiite law is going to be our biggest problem. Not world famine, not energy sources, not, you know, beautiful women from foreign off lands. I think it's going to become a battle of wills and taken over, is what I think is going to be the next big battle we're going to have to start dealing with. And this is all over the world. You either are going to do it or you're not going to do it. And I think there's going to be, I think that's going to be the next ugliness coming through, is what I think. I'm not an expert in it, but I really believe that's the next ugliness. Yes, I am. I am. Yes, Jimmy, I'm in North Arkansas, the good part of the state. You know, that's what I tell people. In Arkansas, we got two parts, the good part and the rest of the state. You know, so, you know, what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? We like Alabama better, though, to be honest, and Florida. But Florida is too expensive to live in, Jimmy. So as I've told you, we can't live there because nobody will give me that $5 million house. So I can't live there. So I can't live in, but we like Arkansas, but it's too expensive here. It's too crazy. It's bonkers here. There's more people here than I ever would want to see in my life. The good part and the Clinton part. There you go. You got that right. The good part and the Clinton part. That's right. The rest of the world, the rest of Arkansas is about rice lands, pine forest, Flatlands. Northern Arkansas is a beautiful country, I'll say that. But once you've seen it and been it, it's kind of like everything else. The world is getting something. Joe's trying to figure out what he's saying there. Gonna roll a joint right now and relax. That's good. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I've been down to the Clinton part. I don't like Southern Arkansas. It's not my cup of tea, so to speak. I don't know. I've been down there a lot. I just don't find Southern Arkansas enjoyable at all. But then again, I don't like Northern Mississippi or Louisiana or parts of Texas or parts of Oklahoma, Missouri. I guess I don't like a lot of parts. It's a kind of human right. Yeah, I think humans have a lot of rights. It's a form of human right never heard from. There you go. Pat agrees. I hate my thumbs. They don't know what they are saying. Well, that's because you need to teach them a lesson. You need to whoop them. You need to have a talk with them. Say, thumbs, I'm telling you. I have the same problem, man. I've been realizing the last couple of weeks, I've been having problem texting myself. I really have. So I've gone to speaking more, but then my phone don't know what the hell I'm saying. So it really puts some weird shit in there when I talk. So it's kind of like, half a dozen another. Aliens don't have any rights. I would agree. Not human rights. Not human rights. And that leads, well, that's a great question, Meme. If let me ask you this in your world, in Germany. If an extraterrestrial population group landed in Germany, would you guys respect their right to exist? Would Germany respect their right to exist? Aliens have a person, right? I don't know. I don't. But if they don't have human rights, how can isn't a person and a human the same thing? Damned if you are, damned if you don't. I know, man. The freaking phones, you know. And here's what's funny. Here's what's funny, or not funny, because of this stupid phone technology. I'm an American. I speak English, right? Lorelai's Filipina. She speaks English, but she has an accent. Her phone, her phone understands her 10 times better than my phone understands me. I don't understand that. She says something to Siri, her phone gets it first time right away. I say something to my phone and it acts like I'm an idiot. Like, what did you say? Oh, so you need me to get the cheese off of the moon? I mean, it doesn't understand me. I don't understand why it doesn't understand me. Yeah, per definition, but who cares about definition? So what is a person? How are they different from a human? So are aliens a person? I don't think they are. I mean, I'm not a person or a human. I'm an alien. I mean, I'm proud to be an alien, buddy. Don't you dare classify me as a person. I'm an alien. I'm a Martian, or I'm a star child, or whatever it is. So don't you dare criticize my. Would aliens be offended if I hate the word aliens. Would an extraterrestrial be offended if you called them a person? Because to me, an alien is somebody who snuck across the border. They're an illegal alien, but and they have no rights. So Jimmy likes that. The reason why so many people call out human rights is because we never received it. All right. We are all persons by law, but no wonder that human rights don't work. Well, all right, all right. I'm not for sure how well anything works, including my iPhone. Human rights, inhuman rights, alien rights. civil rights, bug rights, animal rights. I'm not for sure if anything works. I think it's just something we talk about that makes us feel good, to make us feel important. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, by golly, they violated their civil rights. Well, yeah, but they're going to do it forever because they keep doing it, right? None of this ever gets fixed in the world. It just never gets fixed. I was telling somebody about the Philippines the other day, but how outstanding of a country it could be if they had a tenth of American pride in their country. Matt likes that. I chastise my coworkers for making fun of fellow immigrant workers' accent, but I also tell the immigrant workers at least to learn to speak English. You're a professional. I agree. Look, I am one of the people, and I was caught in this Bill Clinton thing with OSHA, right? Where they came out and said that if you couldn't speak or read English, then OSHA had to teach you in your native language how to be safe on a job. I didn't believe it, I didn't support it, but I had to teach it and I had to do it. So, and I don't disagree having the knowledge available in a method of teaching, right, as a tool to teach them English. But I truly am, if you're going to work in a country, I believe you should be able to speak the language and read the language. I don't speak Tagalog at all. I don't read it, but I didn't ever work in the Philippines either. You know what I mean? So I'm one of those people that I really, how much accommodations do we have to make for somebody who doesn't understand where they're at? And I'm also, and this will probably offend a lot of you people, which that's okay. I'm just one of these people. If I was going to work in the Philippines, I would learn their language. If I was going to work in China, I would learn their language and their behaviors, their patterns. I wouldn't come to another country and expect that country to bend to me. When I go to the Philippines, I try to behave myself. I try not to act like an American ass in the Philippines. I just try to be a good guy and smile and be happy in the Philippines. When I go to Aruba, I do the same thing. I don't make the Dutch people come to me. I come to them. Let's see, let me get caught up after my ranting and raving. It's not by important, it's by definition. We don't set the definition, but you can teach me English. There you go. Everybody needs, I think everybody ought to, wherever you're going to live, you need the language. You need the language. Here in Missouri State, they have so many folks to speak different languages. Yeah. And look, I'm a big believer of this. Because I grew up around immigrants, legal immigrants. And I tell Lorelai, even her, but my friends growing up when I was a little kid, Vietnamese and Korean people I grew up around. I thought it was extremely important for them to keep their language, right? But those generations wanted to speak English, read and write English, so they could assimilate into their host country, which is America, so they could work and earn a living. The modern generation has no desire to assimilate correctly. They want us to bow to what their needs are versus them assimilating into the American culture. They can do both. The past generations would come here, learn English, read English, speak it, learn it, work it to their benefit, and then they could go home and still have all of the great things in their culture. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. Let me get caught up. When I come to America, I offend because the aliens don't speak German. There you go. Jovine from the Philippines is in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate you. Jovine is from the Philippines. How are you over there? I don't like immigrants who refuse to learn English but expect the public to provide translators for them. I 1,000% agree. And that came about in the Clinton era. It did. Bill Clinton. He started that shit. And he's from Arkansas. That's why growing up, and when I worked for OSHA and taught for OSHA and taught at the college, we had to convert everything into Spanish, Marshallese, and other languages versus them learning it. And thank God now That's been reversed. And if not, what the problem was, you had all of these accidents and injuries in my related field because nobody would learn the language. I think that's Elon. I think that's Elon coming to give me my $5 million. Oh, I'm so glad he's here. Jovine said hello, hello. Well, I think if you're working, you got to learn the language. I just do. They're landing. I know that's Elon Musk. He's coming to give me money. They're looking for you. I know, man. But the problem is what they did is the Democrats did a study way back going, okay, what's the root cause of all these injuries at workplaces? Because they couldn't read English. They couldn't read the safety warnings, the signs. They didn't understand how not to cut their hands off because they couldn't read the machinery. So instead of saying, okay, everybody needs to be able to read the English so they don't get their hands cut off, they said, no, no, no. Every company has to spend the money to get that translated into every language that's going to be working on that machinery. That's what happened. Now that's reversed. They are, man. Meme is showing off his fanciness. What did you do now? The law? Did you break it? I don't know, man. That may have been, let's see, where am I? You know, that might have been the, what do they call it? The light flight hospital thing, because, yeah, that may have been them. That may have been the helicopter for the emergency flight, depending on where they're going. Because we don't normally see helicopters, because we have an airport not very far from us. So we see a lot of planes, believe it or not, going to an airport about 7 or 8 miles down the way, that way. But we don't see a lot of helicopters. The only places that have helicopters here, like that big, would be the hospitals. The other helicopters here that are privately owned are at private airports, but they're those little bumblebee type helicopters. You know what I mean? Not big Hueys. They're the little ones that kind of look like a bumblebee in a way, I guess. Helicopters. So that may have been one of those light flight helicopters. I couldn't tell. But I was hoping it was Elon Musk to come give me my money. So, but, you know. Joe, I keep trying to e-beg for $5 million, but it just doesn't seem to work out. You know, nobody seems to want to give me $5 million. Meme won't even give me $5 million. You know, I'm kind of disappointed in him. That's good. Well, that's all right. I understand. Nobody likes me, Joe. I'm not a YouTube fan favorite anymore. Since I quit taking my clothes off online, you know, when I was doing my strip teasing on my live streams, I was really popular. But since I quit doing that, you know, I'm not so popular anymore. Dennis says, I'm a lurker. Lurking in the background. Good to have you, Dennis. Dennis, saw your picture the other day. When my wife saw the thing, you know. Can you guys see me or do I look weird? Probably doesn't matter what I look like. But my wife saw the thing the other day, Dennis, and she's like, wow, Dennis isn't ugly at all. And I said, Lorelai, she's like, well, I just thought, you know, so the good news is my wife doesn't think you're ugly at all, Dennis. I could use a house so I could get out of the apartment. There you go. Well, I need a nice house, Joe. I don't want just a house. You know, I need a house that has a boat, a place to park a boat, water to park the boat in, the pool, you know, the big outdoor kitchen, Come on, Joe. I need a $2.5 million house. So, and that's why I'm asking for 5 million. But yeah, I'm just saying. But I understand, man. I understand. And Joe, there is so many people that have come and gone on YouTube that it's unbelievable. You know, there's so many people that used to be on YouTube that's not on YouTube. That's why I'm here on YouTube, because there's going to be a gigantic gap as YouTube. We're making YouTube great again. I'm making YouTube great again. I'm bringing people back to YouTube. We're going to make YouTube great again. We're all going to do it together. That's right. Pat says, German is not that difficult. Remember where the English language comes from. Yeah, but, we're Americans. You guys need to bow down to us. I mean, come on. I, I can't cook with gas anymore. Cooking with gas, yeah. What's the saying? What isn't there a saying about cooking with gas? Oh, you're cooking with gas now. Yeah, I gotta admit, we cook with gas. We like gas. I would rather cook with gas than anything else. Gas is my favorite flame, or I don't like to cook with electric. But when you have to, you have to. You know what I mean? In the Philippines, you cook with propane outside and electric inside. We don't need big mouth. We need things get done. That's good. Well, I think we all need things to get done. That's important, man. Get them done. Get her done. Get her done. That's American slang for get it done. There's a guy named, I think, Ernest T. Bass, or no, Vern. Get her done. I think America's doing great right now. Don't shoot them. Uh-oh, there's a doggy. But, you remember that, Pat? I know Joe does. Vern, wasn't it a guy named Vern? Who always said, get her done. He actually had a couple movies. I decided the other day I was going to put together my acting portfolio and send it back out, and see if I can't become an actor again. What do you guys think? You think I'll try to become an actor? Since nobody will give me the 5 million, maybe I can get a movie role and get 5 million. All right, Joe, hang in there. Larry the Cable Guy. Whoa, was it Larry the Cable Guy? Okay. Oh, the Vern guy was Hey Vern, right? Larry the Cable Guy. He was in the movie Cars, right? He was Cooter, the car or something. Do you ever listen to bass, to drum and bass? Some, little, some meme, some. I'm not a. If you're asking when I listen to a song, do I crank up the bass? No. But have I been to drum concerts, and musical instrument concerts where there's a lot of drums and solo and things? Yes. Don't ask, don't tell. you know, I'm trying to take my wife. I'm really disappointed because I don't know if I'm going to get to, but they're having these concerts where it's kind of like not opera. What do I want to say? Classical music concerts that they're doing like rock and roll music in a classical setting. So they got classical musicians who are putting on like Oreo Speedwagon or ABBA or Boston. And so they're doing that. And I really want to go to one, but they're at a time that my wife can't go. They're only like $45 a person, but they're all done. The people are dressed up in black tie affair. There's candles. It's very fancy looking. But they're playing rock and roll as it was classical music. I think it'd be really cool to see. Don't Ask, Don't Tell was the name that Larry the Cable Guy was in. Larry the Cable Guy. He wasn't in the movie The Cars. He didn't. He wasn't the pickup truck in the car in the movie. Genre, not opera stuff. So are you saying that there's so there's a genre of music that's nothing but drums? Is that what you're saying? Kind of like African drum music? I've listened to some African drum music in the past. Yes, I've done that. My wife is here. Everybody say hello to my wife. She says, "Oh my God, you're still alive." We are still alive. I am. Don't know that movie, Cars. The movie Cars, right? With the Joe's gone. Um, it was a kids movie with a little red car where the Cooter had a gas station or something. I don't know. It was famous for a few years because kids bought the blankets and the sheets and the pillows and the models are everywhere. And, you know, I didn't watch it either, to be honest. I just know that. So, yeah, I'm hacked. I'm being spied on, meme. But if that's what you mean about genre, is that what you mean? More of an African drum, thing? I've listened to some of that in the past. I have. But I've listened to it more through like an anthropology standpoint versus, you know, I haven't. I've never, no, I haven't. I don't know what you mean by that. I really don't. A genre to me is like country, western, classical's a genre. So, but no, it's not. I'll Google it later, but no, it's not. So, no. Is anybody, Jimmy, have you heard of it that way? I've never heard of it that way. No, never have. Where does it originate from? But you got to understand, I flunked music class. I actually got kicked out. Country, western, drum, bass, it's all genres. Right, yeah. But no, I've never heard of drum and bass genre. I've never heard of that. Never heard of it. It's originated by the electric music. Okay, so you're talking about electronic music, right? Or digital music? Yeah. That's it, Jimmy. David's in a genre all by himself. That's a 5 million maybe. You got that right, man. No, I've never heard of it. But techno music is a genre that I know. I've been to a couple of bars that play techno music. It was all right. It wasn't really for me. It's too loud. But it was okay. I got some friends that are really into it, but not really my thing. So maybe is it all part of that type of 5 million, baby? That's all I care about, man. That and getting another dog one of these days. So, you know, I have lofty goals and then I have realistic goals. So, maybe I am a genre. Maybe in 20 years, there is going to be a YouTube genre of old people running their mouths on the internet. I wonder if that would be. What do you guys think? I think this will become a video genre? People like us on the internet running our mouths? What would they call it? Old fogey run at the mouth genre? I wonder in 20 years if that's what this is going to be. Have you ever thought about that? I wonder if that's what this is going to be because this is a new, semi new in history format of entertainment, right? So it's kind of like westerns is a genre, horror movies are a genre, you know, news is a genre. So I wonder if YouTube live streams are going to be a genre. And then you'll have a sub genre in there. Girls who show their boobs, fat old guys who wear hats, people that fish. So, clowns that have no clues in the genre called. I'm a clown then. I have no clue what you're talking about, man. Nope, never heard of it. Really did. Techno is not a genre in your opinion. No, it is a genre. No, I said that. Techno music, to me, is a genre. It's not one I like, but it's a genre. That's correct. Same thing with orchestra, classical. All of them are genre. The I don't know what it's called, but even the African drum type of music, where it's solo drums and you hear all that's a genre. I just don't know what it's called. Well, yes, we know it comes from technology. Hello, I know that much. Okay, so is techno music not a genre then? Then what is it? If it's not a genre type of music, then what is it? Well, everything is a creation. Remember at the beginning of the live stream, you said everything was a creation? I mean, bluegrass is really interesting. I like bluegrass, Kentucky bluegrass music. I like bluegrass. You know, lots of 70s pop and rock songs have really good drummers. I like the 50 Ways, yeah, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Absolutely. So it's a subcategory within a genre. Is that what you're saying? Right. I don't doubt you, you know. You know. Um, I don't know much about country music. I'm not an expert, but I think there's some genres under the country music label now, or category. So I know you got some southern, like under rock and roll, you got like southern rock, which is its own genre, which I prefer. So I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. So what is techno's parent? What's its primary? So if it's a secondary, what's the primary? Yeah. I like bluegrass. I do. Um, you know, Blues is good. I'm not a big blues fan. I like some blues, but I do like, I'm not a big fan of country and or western to be honest, but I do like that, and I like some of the other weird stuff. Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, right? I always remember when they would be on Beverly Hillbillies. Okay, so techno parent is hip hop. Okay, I didn't know that. You know, didn't know that. But okay, I believe you. Yeah, I like bluegrass. I like classical. To be honest, there's classical music I really enjoy. I guess there is some Western music I like. I'm not a big country fan, crying your beer stuff. So classical. I like classical. I like harp music. I like a lot of different stuff. It depends on my mood. I'm a big 70s and 80s rock fan. I don't know if that's trance music comes from CLSISI. Okay. All right. I believe you. Classic. Jimmy says, I love Allison Cross and the Union Station. Nice. All right. I like the old rockabilly. I do. I like Southern rock. I'm more of a Southern rock guy. I gotta admit, I do like bands, like Journey, Boston, all of those guys. Big fan of Leonard Skinner, of course, Southern rock. You know, do you? I don't know what you mean, meme. I like a little bit of everything. It depends on what mood I'm in. Do you already listen to Fairy Course? No, I don't know who that is. I don't think I do. No. Not intentionally, meme. I may have heard it, but I don't intentionally listen to it. No, I don't. right now, I really don't. Here's where I'm at in my head. I don't like music that irritates me. Meaning I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel like, I don't know what's coming around the corner. If it's coming around the corner and I don't know it, I want it to be more gentle because the way my brain is after the coma, I don't like chaos. We have talked about his tracks 4 weeks ago. Okay. Hell, I'm lucky if I remember what my name is today, meme. Yeah, the musical shoals, they got the Swampers. Yeah, but that's me. I don't like any. It's like the other week, couple weeks ago, I took Lorelai to go see that dragon movie or Demon Slayer, whatever it was, the Chinese or the Japanese anime movie, and I couldn't watch it because it's too chaotic. One is too loud, but everything on the screen was chaotic, and I couldn't handle it. Music is the same way for me. I can't handle being in public where there's nothing but shit going everywhere. I don't like it. I don't like it. It stresses me out, so I don't do it. Researched one track and comment. Oh, yo, I remember what you're talking about now. All right, yeah. I remember. I pulled that up and listened to it. Is that what you're talking about a few weeks ago? Yeah, I remember what you were talking about. And I guess if you're asking, yeah, I don't think I don't, when I was doing therapy after my coma, psychological therapy from my PTSD, they try to get me to listen to what they call trance music, and I didn't like it. One, I don't want to go into trance. I don't need to be that. I didn't like that. But I had a therapist who was trying to get me to listen to that, and I didn't like that type of stuff. It didn't suit well with me, you know. But I remember what you're talking about there. So I fired her because I didn't want to listen to that shit in her office while we're talking. It's like, oh, this is good. It's calming and soothing. It puts you in a trance-like state so we can meditate. I mean, like, take your meditation and shove it up your ass. I don't want to meditate. I don't want to do yoga. We don't have shit music here in the Netherlands, Germany, and all the other technology music heads. Okay. I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. I think the genres that you are in, that you participate in, that you work in, obviously you love because otherwise you wouldn't be involved in it. You wouldn't be a DJ. You wouldn't be traveling with it. So, of course, you love it and you should stand up for it and you should know it inside and out. I do. What I do wonder is this. It's kind of like how long will that genre last? It's kind of like swing music. I don't know if you know what swing music is. But swing music was popular, in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, maybe early 50s. But hardly anybody knows what it is anymore. So, damn, Dave, that had put her in a trance. Well, I don't want that. Yeah, you know. I know, man, I don't want to. She really did, and it made me mad because I kept telling her, I don't know. This isn't, no, you got to know. How many times do I got to tell you, I don't want this? And she's like, oh, you got to meditate. No, why in the hell am I paying you 300 fucking bucks an hour to sit here and meditate? No, we're not doing that shit. So I fired her. And I gave up and said, look, you people aren't helping me. You're making my PTSD worse. You're agitating me. You're all fired. I'm going to go back to just doing drugs. I didn't like counseling. I thought they were full of shit. I know what swing music is. I have a kind of a present on my old musical instrument that's called swing. Nice, all right. Maybe it's what, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I don't think I think if you're into therapy, I think therapy could be good if you got the right people. I think my therapist wanted to take the easy way out. I don't think I don't think and I really believe this. I don't think they could comprehend the real tragedy that I went through my coma, because they're like, well, it wasn't real, and I'm like, the hell if it wasn't real, you stupid bitch, you know. Perry Como swing, yeah, big band music. My therapist called 140 BPM, 140 blood pressure, what you're about, but beats per minute. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you. I don't know. I'm sure therapists are good, but when mine is trying to when they're trying to convince you something didn't happen, that you lived through, that it was, what is wrong with you people, and at I even told her at one time, she was trying to convince me that none of the stuff that happened to me in my coma happened. And I told her, and I asked her, I said, are you just stupid? I don't know, man. Yeah, usually that's the old MRI that had that large, loud thumping, thump, thump, noise in it. The new MRIs don't do that. They're a lot quieter than they ever used to be. So they may still give you earplugs for the MRI machines, but the ones I'm going in now are a lot quieter than they were 10 or 15 years ago. They're nowhere near as oh, oh, oh. I like bluegrass. But it also doesn't bring me to dance. That's all right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and that's why it's a lot quieter. The CTs, the MRIs, everything's way quieter and easier to in and out. They even make it bigger now for fat people. So way back in the day, if we weighed more than 250 pounds, they couldn't throw you in an MRI machine. But now they have MRI machines that they can go to like just your leg. So if you're a 500-pound person and you need your leg done, they can do just your leg. But they also have what they call some open MRIs that are like this, so that it's not a big circle anymore. So they've definitely changed technology a lot. I agree with that. Clogging, that's right. I've watched cloggers before. Their feet has to hurt. Man, that clogging, whew. Nowadays we can shatter a Hall arena with one false knob. Nice. Once I did, nice. Never again. Yeah, I just don't like things that irritate me, I guess. I guess I'm one of those people. Not a big chaos fan anymore. Don't like it. I don't like it. So I like things that are calmer, soother. Is what I like. I'm a big calm guy now. I still like Southern rock, and but I want to. The other big thing is for me when it comes to music. I know this is silly for a lot of people, but if I'm listening to a song, I want to be able to hear the lyrics of the song. Now, if it's an instrumental, okay, because there's no lyrics. But I want to be able to hear what they're actually singing about. It's kind of like when I watch, my wife and I have a difference when we watch movies. My wife wants to watch kill, kill, kill movies, and she talks all through them, and she doesn't care what anybody says, right? Because they're just killing each other. I want to watch movies where they have a dialogue that I can follow along with, a story to listen to, and not be interrupted. So I'm kind of the same way with music. I want to be able to hear what they're saying. I don't want the music so loud over the lyrics that you don't know what's going on. Peter's polyphone, no lyrics, just noise. Yeah. Well, if it's noise, I don't want any noise at all. I want things to soothe the savage beast. You know, I'm a monster meme. I want things that soothes the savage beast. Don't bring the rage. You don't want the rage out of me. You know. So you don't want the rage, man. You got to keep the rage tempered down. You got to keep the fire low, man. That's where I'm at in my life. I've been through that part of my life where I was mean and rough and tough and violent, and chaotic. I don't need to do it now. I've been there, done that. I've done more shit in life than a lot of people could ever imagine, and I don't care. I need life to be more peaceful. Satanic rage, yeah, I don't like it either. I can't handle that screaming shit either. I don't like it. I never really was a huge guys. What do you call the other stuff we had in the '80s? The hairband music. What was it? The head not. Well, I don't like headbanging music, but what was it called? Union Station is all acoustic, nice. What was the other type of rock? Um, what was that genre? What was that called? Remember we had um, what was that type of rock music that we had back in the '80s? Um, Heavy metal. Heavy metal. There's a lot of really good heavy metal songs, but the genre itself wasn't something I listened to. Why? You're so angry. I'm not angry now. Grunge. Yeah, grunge. Don't like grunge. Nirvana's good though. There's some stuff Nirvana did that was pretty good. So there are diamonds in their rough, right? There was some, I can't remember what it's called, heavy metal that's really good, and some of it's just garbage. So, you love Nirvana? Hair band like Def Leppard? Yeah. So, the hair band, there was yeah, Def Leppard, but what am I thinking of? What was I saying earlier? I can't remember now. My brain is squishy today. I didn't used to be angry. I mean, what I'll tell you is, I've been there, done that. I wasn't an angry person. I was just a person that wouldn't tolerate anybody's bullshit. So I didn't walk around being angry. I just absolutely had zero tolerance for people and their bullshit. And I had the physical ability to make sure it didn't happen around me. That's what I mean. And I had the intellect that I could adapt with that. So, been there, done that in a lot of different ways in life. But I'm not an angry person. I don't think I've ever been an angry person. But I've been able to be angry, you know. You are traumatized at this point. I'm only traumatized by my coma. I'm not traumatized by anything else but my coma. So my coma traumatized me, gave me PTSD because of the shit I went through in my coma. My childhood wasn't traumatizing. It was no worse than anybody else's. I just had a personality at the time that I truly did not want to put up with your bullshit. I didn't do it. So, it's like, we're not going to do that. I liked Kiss. Kiss is great. Bon Jovi's good. Bon Jovi's a little, I wouldn't call Bon Jovi hard rock though. So, Bon Jovi, Wanted Dead or Alive, I don't know. I didn't really consider them hard rock. I kind of considered them, I don't know. You're traumatized at that point, at this point. That's the reason you handled other humans bad. Could be. I don't think I was traumatized. They were traumatized by the time I got done with them. But I was nice enough to give them fair warning. So, I gave everybody fair warning. Now you're healing. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. The avid campers in the house, how are you, David? How are you? Good to see you, my friend, the camper. Everybody said hello. Ozzy Osbourne, good. Few rock groups. Bon Jovi is Americana. Yeah, it is. It kind of more like Billy Joe type music, I guess. I just never saw it as too hard. So maybe you never know, meme, right? But even today, I'll be honest. Even today, I don't put up with people's bullshit. I just do it differently. I disassociate. So instead of confronting you and correcting your behavior, I just let you make an ass out of yourself and be the way you're going to be. So I look at it more of I give a person all the rope they want to hang themselves. One, because I don't really care anymore if you hang yourself or not, if you act a fool. So, you know what I mean? So I leave people to do their own. I know enough. I have life experience. Believe it or not. Oh, I believe you. I believe you. So I'm more of that type of person. I disassociate. If there's things going on I don't like, instead of correcting your behavior nowadays, because I'm old, I'll just let you be an idiot because I was an idiot at that age too. Or, now if you're at my house, it's a different story. But if you're out in public making a fool, then you make a fool out of yourself. You just go ahead and do it. As long as you don't hurt anybody else, I won't have to step in. That's kind of how I see it now. But back in the day, I thought it was fun to step in. Hey, there's Missy's channel. Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. How are you guys? Did you guys all say hello to each other, by the way? The campers in the house. I don't know why you're not blue. You got a YouTube channel. So, Missy's channel, how are you? Good to see you. What's going on in your part of the world? Everyone has an inner child. That I agree with. No matter the age, I agree with. We are all traumatized by the law. I disagree with that. I can't agree with that. We may all experience trauma on one level or degree or another. Maybe this trauma or this trauma, this much or gigantic amount, right? So we may all experience that, but it's not by law. Not by law. And it's all about how we deal with things in life. That's the key. And maybe it's because we mature and grow and learn. You have to decide for yourself, who do you want to be? Forget everybody else. Forget what anybody else says, what anybody else thinks, but how do you want yourself to be seen? I got to the point where I realized I didn't really give a rat's ass what people thought of me. I was going to do what I did, and that's it. I was going to do it that way. And that's what started to change me years ago when I realized I don't need people's approval. I need my own approval. And I'm not giving people space in my head. Well, I would hope so. I think so. I think every time you laugh, your inner child's coming out. I think every time you hear a joke and smile, or you see something and it brings a little smile to you, isn't that your inner child? I think, because I think children naturally do it. I mean, children are good. They're naturally good, right? They come out of the womb good. It's not until we the adults, get a hold of them and screw them up that they turn bad. So that's how I see it, right? Children aren't racist until we're taught them to be racist. They're not mean to one another until we teach them how to be mean to one another. So that's the child. What's the C? It's not about the government. Not everything's about the government, meme. Not everything's a conspiracy. Not everything's the government's fault. Sometimes it's our own fault, our own responsibility. We can't just, and now I guess I do preach the concept of self-responsibility and self-ownership. We have to own what we do. And bad news, bad news. Missy's channel gives me a champion's cup because I'm the champion. So we all have to take responsibility for our own actions. And I guess I've learned over the years, if you're not willing to stand up and take responsibility, then that makes you a coward. I take responsibility for everything I've ever done, good, bad, and ugly. And there's been a lot of good, but a whole lot of bad, and a hell of a lot of ugly. So I take responsibility for it. And I take responsibility by not trying to repeat it, not trying to do it again. Television. Bad news, his story, television. Television. You have a vision? I don't think I really have a future-looking vision. I mean, I'm to the point in life, I've been dead, I'm not dead. I don't care if I live or die, I'm okay with that. I don't really have a vision for the world, for the government, for my neighbor, for myself. I don't. Pat, saying hello to you, Missy's channel. She's got a great channel. You guys all support her. So I don't really have a vision for anybody. Sorry, responsibility is the television. Oh, sorry, responsibility is the television. I don't. What the hell are you talking about, Beam? Sorry, responsibility is to tell a vision. Well, sorry, I mean television. What? Television is the responsible party for all the bad. Is that what you're saying? I don't disagree with that. Television is the that I don't disagree with. Advertising, television, manipulation. It all started with Speed Racer. I'm just telling you. It all started when I was a little kid with Speed Racer and the Thunder Cats, the Thundercats, and the Legion of Doom. It's all the same. What a coincidence. Oh, man. So television is, I do believe, but, television is nothing but a TV commercial. What is a TV commercial, right? It's an argument to get you to think something, to believe something. It's like, I think it's really funny. In America right now, the McDonald's has really got a bad reputation because we all know their food is not food, right? But man, McDonald's has some new commercials out there really trying hard to convince us that their non-food food is really food, even though it's non-food, but it'd still be okay for you, So they're, oh my God. So, so television, TV as we call it in America, because we shorten things down to where it's easy to understand. Television, TV, is nothing but a gigantic manipulation on all fronts. It's like I was saying about media earlier. You can't find unbiased information anywhere. You can't do it. It is. It's brainwashing. It's what it is, without question. And it's been that way from the day one. Since the first commercial came out, trying to sell you a can of peas, and we all know how the television industry manipulated the food market in America, how they changed the entire food industry in America to where we all now go to a grocery store and buy everything in the can or the frozen section. Definitely, we know this. English as itself as a language was founded to fool the native speakers, was it? Well, who are the native speakers? So I think they're the people that came to the Native Americans. Is that what you're talking about? No. So it's exciting. Television's good. It's exciting. Now we watch it for entertainment. Once you get old and you're smart enough to realize what they're doing, that TV is a manipulation, then you don't have to embrace that manipulation. It's like when you see all the cigarette commercials and all the beer commercials, all the McDonald's commercials trying to get you to go eat that bad food for you, that they're swearing is not bad, but we all know it is bad. But hey, McDonald's looks really good. That commercial's pretty sharp. Their big, beautiful new arch is really nice. Yeah, maybe we can go to McDonald's. Not talking about the Indians. About you invaders, us. We are invaders. I have no problem admitting that. The people that came over from England and Europe into America, invaded the Native Americans, the true Americans' land, and took it without question. We're not the only ones in the world that have done it, but it's done. It's been done. It's going on now and will continue to go on throughout history. That's right. We were the illegal aliens at the time when we came to America and booted the Native Americans onto their reservations that we allowed them to have. I get it. I have no problem with that. I think that's the way it is. I I don't I think if anybody deserves reparations, it's the Native Americans. We're the ones that they're the ones that got their land stolen. So they deserve to get back. You know, I'm an Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. Yeah, you're probably an alien too. Well, Germans tried to be an alien. Hell, they invaded every country there was that they could get their greedy little hands on, right? So they're probably the largest invaders of the world. But then technically maybe the Vikings were, because the Vikings now have been discovered that they've gone to more places than we could ever imagine they've gone to. So, and same thing with the Polynesians and people like that. They've traveled. The world has been traversed way more than we ever think it is. You know, got a bug here. So, I don't know, boys and girls. I think we're all extraterrestrials, and some of us are truly illegal aliens, and then some of us are just people. Sting, I like Sting. Sting is calling. Sting was good, man. I like Sting. Have you ever watched the movie called The Sting? So, all right, boys and girls, it's time for me to wind this down. I got to fix dinner for my dog Lily. Lily, you want to eat dinner? Lily's all excited because it's past her dinner time, but she's all right. I got to give her some dinner. Time for me to get off her. It's almost 9 o'clock. Wind things down. Text my wife, see what she's been bugging me for all night long. So I hope you guys are all doing great tonight. Stay positive. Believe in the negativity. Because if you believe in the negativity, then you know how to prevent the negativity. You know how to stay positive if you recognize the negativity. All right, guys? All right. Me, Pat, Jimmy, Dennis, Missy's channel, everybody who just stopped in and said hello tonight. We appreciate you guys all. And everybody take care, and we will see you guys later on in the week. Take care, man. Pat, give me a few minutes, and I'll check in with you in a few minutes. All right? I need to feed Lily. All right, Meme. Take care, everybody. I know.